It dates all the way back to medieval times and is still widely used in today's society. I'm talking about hypnotherapy. And no, it's not some magician waving a clock in front of your face. It's all about focused awareness. So we're here at the Ontario Hypnosis Centre to see what it's all about.
And one. It's got quite a long history. Hypnosis started in the ancient world. If you go back to Greece and ancient Egypt, there were sleep temples that people would go to for healing processes. And while they would go into the temple, the priest would give them suggestions that you would give this offering to a certain god, and then you would put yourself into a sleep, which would be a trance, and then the next day or however long is required for the specific issue that you need, you would be cured. And that is hypnosis. That is basically giving you a suggestion that says, if you allow yourself to be in a space of relaxed awareness and you focus on the act of getting better, you actually do get better. Anything you can term behavioral change, we can help you with. So whether it's nail biting or smoking or bedwetting or fears of interacting with people or public speaking, any of those things we can help with as long as you can term it changing behavior. We can do things that are related to fears, help our clients overcome fears, motivation, all forms of motivation. We have a lot of public speakers or performance artists who come in to the clinic, and we help them feel more confident and perform better on stage. And yeah, anything that basically is about changing your behavioral patterns, we can help with.
It was always, I had an anxiety. I would get anxiety attacks because of, let's say I got a cold and everything in my body that that was changing, or there was a change, I would notice that and I would react. I would have an anxiety attack and I would get more sick. And I think it was when I had more, I think it triggered it more whenever I had a big stress, and then I would get sick and then I would get more sicker. So I noticed it was just a pattern, and it was affecting mostly me, and it was affecting people around me too, because they cared for me and they didn't want me to be in that state.
I did what's called a systematic desensitization around her fear of being ill. So I had her go through 10 steps of the least thing that bothers her about being ill to the worst thing possible. And that actually, after we did that, it actually brought the fear down from like an 11 out of 10 to like a 4. She still had it, but it was a lot less. The second section she came in, you know, she was dealing with a lot of stress in her life. She had to move because she couldn't afford the rent. Her roommate was giving her problems and all this stuff. And she was still having the problems with being afraid of being ill. So I then did a timeline regression technique to take her back to the time when she saw her father die, and had her communicate with herself, letting her subconscious mind go through a process of changing the perception that if you are experiencing a symptom, it means you're going to die. So we did that piece, and after I did that session with her and she came out, she was a lot less inclined to connect a symptom of an illness to death and to get, you know, panicked by it. I told her she needs to come back again. I suggested at least 7 sessions. On her 3rd session, I did a check with her, and she was feeling a lot better. Wasn't crying as much. She still cried a little bit. But then, you know, she was still stressed. So I did some work to help her deal with stress. I gave her some self-hypnosis techniques she can use to deal with stress. And I also did a check to ensure that she had, you know, dealt with the loss of her father. And she had gone to counseling for that. So she had dealt with that piece. But I just wanted to be sure that, you know, there was nothing else she was holding on to, and she was fine. She, you know, she was okay with that.
Well, recently I got sick with a cold, just a seasonal cold, and I wasn't scared. I was just living my daily life like it was just a part of my life.
describe the place.